say, how are we doing tonight? I said, how are we doing tonight? From this side of the room, can I get like a, oh yeah? Come on, these guys over here. Oh yeah, come on. Can I get a hallelujah? These guys, come on, hallelujah. Can I get an all right from this side of the room? All right. Can I get an amen from you guys on the wall? Amen. Thank you. The rest of the night is going to be nothing like that. I just wanted to like indulge my rock star fancy, and so thanks for joining in with that. We've got an empty row at the front. Anyone want to sit at the front? Someone join me? I promise I won't pick on you. People in the middle, at the back, people at the back, want to sit at the front. You two, there's space here. Please come join me. Okay, seems though none of you are deciding. How about people at the side? Do you fancy sitting at the front? You, sir, you look like someone who will sit at the front. Okay, so no one's sitting at the front. I'm going to pick people to sit at the front as and when I choose. Personally, I think you should choose to sit at the front because it'd be horrible if I had to pick you out. So yeah, how are we all doing tonight? Are we good? Are we good? Yeah. I've got to do a few house rules. There's 4, I think. That's more than anything I've remembered. The 4 rules are: can you put your phones on silent because, yeah, you know, it's obvious. The other one is don't heckle the acts because they're very fragile. You can shout all the abuse you want at me. If you've got any problems, talk to me, not the acts. Third rule is, what's the third rule? Oh yeah, we've got a camera over there, so if you're leaving by that exit, try not to trip over the wire and break everything, because that would be terrible. And the 4th rule is something like, if you finish your drink and you like the break, and you like take it back because they run out of cups very fast. And that's bad as well, so let's make everything good. So, again, how are we? Are we feeling good this side of the room? How are we? Are we all... Who's finished exams, actually? Woo! Yeah, I've not. I've got one left. You said you finished exams. How did it go?
Yeah, I've got one.
You've got one. What's your name? Sorry, I didn't catch it. Katie. What exams did you do, Katie? Anything? History. What kind of history?
Modern history.
Modern history, so that's like, what happened yesterday? It was sunny, that's really modern. What other modern history is there? Like, the thing is, whatever you say is not going to be comedy material. It's like, well, I studied the Nazis, 9/11, it's like, oh no, that's a bad road to go down, really, really bad. This side of the room, is anyone actually, here's a question, Mike, is anyone inappropriately drunk? Oh, you really let me down. It's May Madness, guys. It's the last day of May Madness. It's the last day where you can get 2 Coronas for £4. That is just mad, isn't it? I mean, April didn't have 2 Coronas for £4. April was rubbish. It definitely wasn't mad. This side of the room, has anyone finished exam? Anyone got any exams coming up that are really interesting? Wow. The thing about uni is you're meant to find your subject interesting, so everyone was like, yeah! But that didn't happen. Have you finished exams, anyone down here? You got any exams coming up? What's your exam coming up? So what's your name, sorry?
I'm Adam.
Adam, what?
I've got theatre and then history and English lit.
Which one's the most exciting out there?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, actually.
Yeah. What English lit, what literature are you reading?
Oh, lots of stuff to do with feminism and stuff.
Oh, not feminism. I'm not going to say that. That's terrible. I fully support feminism. I like it. Last time we had Ben Winston as Compere, and he took us on a spaceship, which was like, who was here last week actually? Yeah. Can I go woo? Woo! Who's here for the first time ever? Can I get another woo? And that. Well, people who were here last time, we were on a spaceship, and I quite like that idea, but we won't go on a spaceship this time. We'll choose another like platform of travel. And so has anyone got a favourite form of travel? Someone back here, favourite form of travel?
Hovercraft.
A what?
A hovercraft.
Hovercraft. Hovercrafts are quite small. You couldn't get like the 20,000 people that are in here to fit on the hovercraft. Can we get like more of a public form of transport? It's not like I've got one in mind. But, anyone? Public form of transport?
Bus.
Bus is quite good. You can have a bus. What people work on the bus? Obviously there's a driver. You have like a conductor on the bus sometimes, if you're in London or like the 19th century. So we're going to be on a bus. This is the County Comedy Club bus. This is much less exciting than the spaceship, but I promise you all the acts will more than make up for the lack of spaceships and the mediocrity of buses. So for a bus we need a driver and a conductor. Who wants to be the driver for the night? Anyone experienced in bus driving? Anyone want to be a bus driver? Anyone uni study bus driving? No one? Okay. I'm going to have to pick someone somehow. So, who? Does no one want to be the bus driver? Anyone the bus driver? No? Okay. I'm going to pick someone. Man in green top, do you want to be the bus driver?
No, really, I think I'll be here very long, so...
Okay. Okay, that's fine. And then there's anyone over here anyone here? Who's going to be here the whole time? Someone got their hand up. Who's going to be here the whole time? You are. Are you volunteering to be the bus driver? All you'll have to do is, we'll get on the bus. We're at the start of the journey. We're at Lancaster bus station, and we're getting on the bus. And you just have to tell us, are we going to be on time? There's no blockages in the roads. There's no cats like roaming and blocking our way. No pigeons eating bread in the road. So you'll just have to let us know if everything's going well, everything going good. A bus also needs a conductor, a guy who checks you've got tickets. So we've got a bus conductor who. We'll have a bus conductor from this side. You, sir, are you staying here all night? You're my conductor. What's the bus driver's name? Sorry, I forgot to ask. James the bus driver. That's a good name for a bus driver. James, Jimmy the bus man. And the conductor?
I'm also James.
Wow. Okay, we've got Jimmy and Jimbo. Jimbo's more of a bus conductor name, so we'll go with Jimbo and Jimmy the bus driver. That's good. I feel like I've got something else to say, but I'm not 100% sure. Jimmy, can we get some life story? What do you study? Is that?
English.
Everyone's doing English. That's well, except for the person doing history, and I've only asked like 2 people, so maybe not. What literature do you read?
I haven't really read.
Favourite book?
I don't really read that much. It was quite a bad degree of picking some through at school, so...
So what do you read in your course? Surely you read in your course, it's literature.
I haven't started reading yet.
What have you been doing for a year then? Nothing. Yeah, like most people. I shouldn't really talk about books, because I don't really know anything about books, because I don't read either. The last thing I read was like, yeah, I only read autobiographies, that's not interesting. I'll try and talk about something I do know things about. What am I doing with this? I don't know. It's great, I should be a pole dancer. Things I do know about football. Who likes football? Who's got a favourite football team? Oh, Jimmy the bus driver. Newcastle, well, congratulations, good season. I won't talk about football because a lot of people here don't care about football. So when I introduce my first act, what we need to do is we need to clap, and clapping is very complex. It's a very complex thing, I promise you. There's 3 things you have to do for a good round of applause. There's obviously the clapping's really good, and then there's stamping your feet. Stamping your feet is hard, and then there's like the whooping. We've practiced whooping with our little introduction. So we're going to go through those 3 things individually, and then we'll bring them all together, and it'll be really good. Jimmy the bus driver, right, you're happy with that for the start of the journey. So let's practice clapping. So if you can clap without doing anything else. Brilliant, you've got that absolutely nailed. Well done, guys. Now if you want to try stamping our feet, no clapping or whooping, just stamp your feet, everyone stamp your feet. Yeah, that sounds really good. That's fantastic. Well done, guys. And then can we practice whooping? No stamping feet or clapping, just everyone go woo, 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 woo. That was terrifyingly loud. Well done, guys. So we can bring them all together. Remember the 3 things I've taught you: clapping, stamping your feet, and whooping. Can we bring them all together? Yeah, come on. Brilliant, fantastic. I think you've got this nailed. Jimmy the bus driver, is Lancaster bus station. We're ready to leave. We're ready to head over to Balham. We're heading towards Balham, and we're all right. The conductor, has everyone bought their tickets? Jimbo, the conductor. Are we good to go? We're good to go. So ladies and gentlemen, remember the 3 things I taught you, and welcome to the stage, my first act, Mr. William Salter.
Hello, that was Rick Kay. He's really cool, actually. It's about 5 weeks ago, but over the holidays I was thinking a lot about children. No, not in that way, no. Your minds immediately go to that, don't they? No, I'd like to confirm that, no, I'm not actually the Easter Bunny. I was thinking about children. People think that children are idiots, don't they? People tend to think that children are stupid, children are naive, children are young, children are unable to operate heavy machinery in an urban area. I was thinking, no, actually, children aren't idiots at all. Children are actually very similar to human beings. So, remember when you were a child? No, not you, you selfish prig. Remember when you were a child, and you said your first word. Not your first word, like, you know, dog, or hatred, or KGB sleeper agent. Your actual first word. You know, you thought, Father seems to have a lovely pair of keys there. I wonder if I could borrow them, perchance. I sounded like Christopher Lee as a child. And then all that comes out of your mouth is, keys! I was actually thinking of this while trying to explain complex emotions to a beautiful woman. Because that's what my mind descends into. Wow, I really think I share something between me and this woman. I really think there's some universal, you know, connection between she and I and the universe. Perhaps I should explain this to her. Boobs! So, you know, I actually own a Blue Peter badge. So 10 years ago, I was a lot better than you all. I got this Blue Peter badge because I wrote into Blue Peter asking if they could do an episode based on the Lord of the Rings because it's really cool. And I got a reply back from Simon. Presumably, you know, to congratulate me on my being able to write. I got a Blue Peter badge. But that wasn't enough. I wanted my TV show, you know, I wanted this episode to come up and I'd see, you know, I'd sit in front of the TV for months on end, there'd be, you know, these children's faces flickering past, you know, these do-gooders, you know, David baked 500 cakes to save his local orphanage, you know, Hannah, she played the violin until her fingers bled to save the sinking ocean liner. In fact, you know, I was getting sick of it. They were constantly making Tracy Islands, making pancakes with that same woman. They always make pancakes with this one woman. And also, you know, cleaning Nelson's column. How clean is Nelson's column now, thanks to Blue Peter? And you know, they'd never appease my love of evil wizards. So I asked myself the question, do you know how Matt Baker came to be? He was a man once, captured by CBBC, tortured, ruined, and now perfected, with empty promises and false smiles. I told you I sounded like Christopher Lee. In the 90s, actually, when this occurred, baseball caps were the coolest things. The coolest kids always wore baseball caps on the playground. There was this one kid at my school, he wore a baseball cap, and, you know, I went up to him one day, because he had this, you know, this gaggle of girls and boys also that followed him around the playground, you know, because he was the coolest kid. And I asked him, you know, what is it that makes you so cool? And he took me to one side, like a juvenile Fonzie, and he said, it's not actually a baseball cap, it's these glasses. And I looked at his glasses and he had a little picture of Noddy on them. And this little picture of Noddy, it was just a regular picture, but this Noddy was winking. He was winking away at my self-esteem. And this, you know, just a little aside, do you think winking's an acceptable thing to put in a text or the internet? You know, oh, I'm at the bar, do you fancy a drink? Whoa, calm down there, Sid James. Oh, no, it's all right. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. So, eventually the school, they implemented baseball caps as part of our school uniform, which was really cool. But then, you know how that one kid had a baseball cap? Now everyone had one. So before it was a total monarchy, and now it descended into kind of a feudal, medieval England, where there was the kids with the baseball caps still, but these baseball caps had things emblazoned on them, like Nike or Adidas or Fila. What was Fila? What was Fila? It seems to have died out in the 90s, like good indie music. Yeah, they had this on their, they were the kings, because they had the jewels on their crowns, didn't they? Underneath them, of course, were the second in command. They were the knights, and they had these baseball caps, which had, I don't know if you remember these, they had this little mesh visor that would flip down from the inside, and they could wear them and pretend to be, you know, space warriors, or blind pensioners. Underneath them were the slightly nerdier kids. They were the peasants of this situation, and they were often a little overweight, and they'd have this big dopey section of cloth that came down from the back of their caps. And you know, I don't know what it's for, presumably to hide their numerous necks. Then, you know, they weren't the worst of the worst though. The worst of the worst were the kids with the bucket hats. You know those hats that come down like that? The hats that look like they stole them off a 50-something middle-class rambler, you know, that you find, when you're in a little, you know, you live in a small town like I do, you find these people, they're always on the outskirts, in the fields. They're not out in the wilderness, they're in these fields on the outskirts of towns with these massive fuck-off backpacks and these fiberglass sticks, and they're trudging along, and I don't know what they're doing. You stood there playing frisbee, and you see these people with this great big grin on their face, trudging along to the Archers theme tune. And I don't know what they're doing. They must be, you know, trying to create a new nomadic civilization based around Radio 4 and the culture show. These kids with the bucket hats, not only were they identifiable by their bucket hats, but also by the liberal amounts of sun cream slathered on them by the teacher, marked and shamed like Aztec sacrifices. The Aztecs being the bullies. When you actually discuss childhood with your friends, you always inevitably, you know, you sit around in a circle because you're Native Americans for some reason. You always inevitably end up talking about kids shows. You know, everyone loves their kids shows. It's, you know, oh, what did you like? Oh, I love Sesame Street. Oh, what did you like? I liked, you know, Play Days. Oh, what did you like? Oh, I loved Arthur. I did actually love Arthur. Arthur was great. There were some disturbing things about Arthur. Number one, you know, I always thought it was weird because everyone's animals, but the parents were always the same species of animal. I thought that was quite racist that they were, you know, there was always the same species of animals romantically involved. And then I realised the horrific consequences of having a cat-rabbit hybrid trying to gnaw its own leg off. You know, Arthur was actually an aardvark and not a potato with ears. And he had a pet. He had a pet dog. And he'd be, you know, he'd always walk it around. It was called Pal. It was a little puppy. He'd walk it around with its lead, you know, every day when you were, yeah, he'd walk around like that. And I was thinking about that, and I thought, wait a minute. Arthur had a friend that was a dog. Think of the horrific consequences of a sleepover when she goes round and finds a youngling of her own kind chained up in the backyard, forced to eat off the floor and defecate in public. So yeah, you end up talking about your favourite kids shows. Oh, I liked El Nombre. He was so cool. He was a mouse that was Mexican, because for some reason all Mexican people in cartoons are mice. And then you get around to one guy and he says, you know, oh yeah, you guys remember In the Night Garden? Whoa, calm down there, Charles Manson. Oh no, it's all right. I have younger siblings. It's almost as, you know, childishly revealing as when someone enters a conversation and says, you know what I hate? I hate Justin Bieber. Do you? You hate Justin Bieber. You hate this guy. You know, I hope you're not offended, but I hate Twilight. Don't you hate how they sparkle? No, I don't hate how they sparkle. They're marketed to 12-year-old girls. You shouldn't be bothered by this. But, you know, hatred is an emotion usually reserved for paedophiles and serial killers. And you hate these things, you hate them. You know, and you still play video games. Why don't you know, turn your hatred towards something else, like your crippling social awkwardness. That's what I do. And my fucking bucket hat. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it one more time for Mr. Will Salter. Will's a very cool guy as well. Thanks for that, Will. My favourite bit about Will's set is his incredible handsomeness. That's what I like best about Will. How's everything on the bus? The bus driver, man? Jimmy?
Ducks on the road.
Ducks on the road. What are you going to do? You're going to run them over or are you going to stop?
I think we could charge 10 people, run them over, and then sell them for like £10.
What, sell the ducks? That's disgusting. So, right, okay, I did not make any sense of that. You're going to charge people 10p more and then sell the ducks?
We could have lunch on the bus.
That is brilliant. Mr. Conductor, we're going to run over the ducks, cook them on the bus. I don't know how we'll do that, but we'll find a way. Are you a chef as well as a conductor? Is cooking one of them?
My biggest concern is that the ducks haven't paid their fares, and if they want over, they're not.
But they'll be dead.
They're still using our service.
Yeah, they should pay. Ducks should pay. Well, they paid with their lives, haven't they? So that's more than £1.50. Okay. Okay, so we're having duck for lunch on the bus to campus from town. Don't know what's happened to this, but it's become really small. I'm rubbish with things. Yeah, this is working. There we go. That's there. Yeah, that'll do. I'll keep talking. You're drinking a beverage. What beverage are you drinking, Jimbo, the conductor?
It's cider.
Cider. What kind?
Well, if I say strong, it's good for me.
Yeah, I'm not judging anyone. I'm surprised you can go for the May Madness in the Corona, because that is fantastic. This side of the room, what are we drinking? Oh, has anyone got anything cooler than Strongbow? Not that Strongbow's uncool, it's just, I don't know, what is the negative thing about Strongbow? Is there anything? I don't know. Any favourite drinks over here? You're drinking something, what is it?
It's Coke. Has a lime.
Coke with a lime. That's a funny kind of beer. Never heard of that. You got a favourite drink? Is it your favourite drink, Coke? Yeah, JD and Coke. Yeah, there's no better way to ruin a whiskey than to put it in Coke. That's fine. That's fine. Anyone near the back got a favourite drink? So you're holding something red and in a glass. What is it?
Rosé.
Rosé, brilliant. It's kind of the I don't know anything about wine. Again, I'm trying to talk about books, I'm trying to talk about wine, I don't need these things. Talk about things I do know, beer, Corona, good. That's because I'm a man and I'm weird. And I don't know why, do you know when I do like, I should move this out of the way because I just keep doing weird things. Like, if you think I'm getting too weird, just shout, you just be like, Rick, what the fuck are you doing? Because this is Rick. I just keep breaking it as well, like this keeps falling down. Never mind. Are we happy? Do we remember the 3 things I taught you about clapping and things like that? Remember, there's a clapping, obviously, there's stamping your feet and there's whooping. Can we get another practice? So 1, 2, 3, let's practice. Go on. Brilliant, I can feel the vibes are good, so I think we're ready for my next act. He's a very, very funny man. His name's Mr. Michael Dodds, and give him a big, big round of applause.
Now I know what you're thinking. Why is this guy dressed like he's going to a funeral? Well, the idea is, when you're dead inside, every day is a funeral. Now I know what else you're thinking. You're probably thinking, this looks exactly like the kind of guy who is just rubbish and pathetic enough to have a pet rock while he was a kid. Well, you're right. His name was Cuddles. The reason he was called Cuddles is that if anyone insulted me or Cuddles, he would cuddle them in the jawbone or the nose sometimes. You know, soft, fleshy areas. But I love that rock, I really did, and I think he loved me. We had some adventures together. I'll never forget what he said to me sometimes, you know. One time I had a crush on this girl in my class and I was really nervous, I didn't know what to say to her. And I said, Cuddles, what should I say? I'm really nervous. And he looked at me and he went, leave none of them alive, Michael! You're such a joker, Cuddles. I got moved to a few different schools in my time. No, I did love that rock. I took him absolutely everywhere, you know. I took him to school. I took him back home. That's about it, really. I wasn't a very interesting kid. Admittedly, there are a few problems with having a pet rock. Number one, they don't really play well with other pets. Or at all, really. They just sort of fucking sit there. Problem number two, they die almost instantly if you put them into contact with paper. Problem number three, they never hold you when you cry. What? Oh, how did that get it on? Talking about a pet rock, for Christ's sake. Jesus. Not like a dog or a cat, you know, people like comfort you. A rock just looks at you with that stony expression. I fucking hate myself. But yeah, he ran away, fuck knows how. He basically left one day with all this talk about becoming a professional wrestler, and I haven't seen him since. I hired a private detective to try and track him down. This guy sort of specialised in pet rocks and things. And he had this fucking weird catchphrase. It was something like, "Sedimentary, my dear Michael." What? I never got it. Apparently, many of you didn't get it as well. So I went to the doctors recently because a concerned citizen thinks I might be suffering from depression. And one of the first questions he asked me was, "Tell me, Michael, do you drink?" And I went, "Alright, I'll have a whiskey, please." He thought I was kidding because he went, "Michael, Mr. Dodds, that is without a doubt the cheapest answer to that question I've ever heard in my entire career." And I went, "Alright, fucking hell, I'll have a double." But, you know, fuck it. I drink during the daytime. Because why not? You know, it's like, fuck it. Think about drinking. Thing about drinking during the daytime is you only think that it's completely socially unacceptable, you know, until you have your first drink, at which point it becomes pretty good and you're like, I don't know why I don't do this more often, you know. Which, you know, after a few more drinks becomes, "Get them! You can't fucking arrest me! I haven't been anywhere near that orphanage!" Today. But you know, I'm sorry, but if any of you, you're probably judging me, but if any of you actually watched Bargain Hunt while completely off your tits, it's fucking amazing. Like, yesterday I genuinely cared more about the value of Ellen's 1950s walnut-style bracket clock, by the way, that was really hard to remember, than I did about the birth of my first, than I did about what will be the birth of my firstborn child. I'm not some kind of teen father. Fuck that up. But, you know, I was actually crying. I actually cried drunken tears of joy at her £10 profit. You know, on a day when she could have been working and earned, I don't know, 6 times that. If my parents were there, they would have been crying too. For very, very different reasons. My family were actually really disappointed that so I was never into sports or anything. I wanted to do comedy, and they're really disappointed. I actually got reviewed last term, and I brought a copy of Scan back to my dad, and I said, "Dad, look, I've been reviewed." And he went, "Thanks, son." Kill the wasp. But I actually get really paranoid, and this effect is sort of amplified whenever I drink. Like, you know, I'll have a thought like, "Oh shit, I'm getting a headache. Maybe it's cancer. Oh my god, my girlfriend's leaving me. Maybe it's cancer. Oh my god, I have cancer? Maybe it's cancer." But to show you what I mean here, have any of you ever been so pissed that you thought you've had a conversation with your subconscious? I have. Apparently my subconscious is a Cockney fireman named Paul. You know, I was in my bathroom when I was too drunk to move, and I was throwing up. It was so fucking awful. Then this guy Paul appeared. He was like, "Alright, I'm Paul, I'm your subconscious." And I was like, "Paul, help me! I'm gonna die." Paul, right? Yeah, Paul. "Paul, I'm gonna die!" And he's like, he kept saying, it's alright, you are Michael Dodds, but this is just an experience." And I was like, wow, that seems really profound. Until I realised it was hippie bullshit. I said this to him, I said, "Paul, that's hippie bullshit, how's that gonna help me?" He's like, alright, I'm just your fucking subconscious and I can only think thoughts. Then I noticed something, I went, "Paul?" "Yes, Michael?" Is that a fire axe? Yes. Yes, it is. Now, have you ever been so paranoid and drunk that you thought your subconscious was going to murder you with a fire axe? It was a new low. Needless to say, I tried to run away, but I just fell over and hit my head on the fucking sink, which is why I can no longer smell oranges or remember any of my birthdays. But I was talking to a girl in Sugar Club the other week. Sugar Club being the term I use for the collective mediocrity that is nightlife in Lancaster. And she noticed that I was picking at the label on my beer bottle, and she said, "Because you're doing that, you must be sexually frustrated." And I went, "Wow, thank you for your insight. Like, you know, what you've told me is a little bit like telling Martin Luther King that he's black." It's kind of the point. It's like, thank you for pointing out what is perhaps my most prominent and important feature, you know. Would you also like to point out my fucking behemoth Adam's apple or my fucking sunny disposition, you know? Until you pointed out this revolutionary new information, I had no idea while I was going to bed every night, you know, with a multi-pack of Kleenex, a copy of Good Housekeeping, and an intense feeling of loneliness and shame. Just so I could have this fucking semi-flaccid routine wank and an orgasm I barely notice, just so I don't snap my dick off if I roll over in the night. I thought it was just mind-controlling wank fairies behind the whole thing. You know? Mind-controlling wank fairies gives a fucking whole new meaning behind, you know, scrubbing your dishes. I had another joke there, but I forgot it. It's a great time to do it as well. But yeah, I told my friend, you know, how much I masturbate compared to last year, and he said, "Michael, you've really let yourself go." I said, "No, I haven't, that's the fucking problem." Excuse me. When I'm masturbation these days, sorry, it's like getting a Grex, you know, in that it's sort of become quick, routine, and unsatisfying. You know, I only do it when no one's around, which saves me some time, but it's just incredibly depressing when it's the highlight of your Saturday. But seriously, I'm not sexually frustrated because I pick at beer bottles. Right? I'm sexually frustrated because no one will sleep with me, you know, let alone look at my stupid naked body. Like, do you have any idea what I look like naked? Well, you look like you do, you creepy fucker. Do you have any idea what I look like naked? I look like the corpse of an Egyptian mummy with a giant cock. Oh yes, ladies, oh yes, it's what's behind the bandages that counts. Mostly broken dreams and emotional scars. But I told her all this, and she said I was creepy. And you know, if I had a penny for every time a girl said this to me, it would still be completely heartbreaking every time. Because I am creepy, aren't I? Fuck it, let's face it. You know, it's like, I'm creepier than like a birthday mime at a funeral, you know? I'm creepier than a naked mime playing Ba Ba Black Sheep on a pan flute while wearing Alan Rickman's face. But, you know, the thing about creepy people is that people treat creepy people like they don't know they're creepy. Like, we are very aware of how creepy we are. Right? Do people who aren't creepy go to their room at night and play a game called Guess That Stain? Because I do, I invented it. You know? Oh, chocolate or shit, let's have a taste. No one's allowed. Fuck it, why not? But you know, there's laws to this sort of thing, you know? Like, one of the ones I've noticed is, have you ever noticed that the longer someone's coat, the creepier they tend to be? For instance, most of you are wearing sort of normal jackets and you look like normal people, you fuck you. This sort of length is pet rock territory. It's the people, when it gets down the ankles, that's what you have to look out for, because you know, that's whenever you start killing imaginary dragons with plastic weapons. Now that's a bit of a cheap joke. I genuinely have no problem with the role players. I actually think they're pretty cool. But they just seem to be really fucking lazy. Like, they're killing imaginary dragons with plastic weapons, you know? Why aren't they out there killing real dragons with real weapons, you know? Pussies. Like, just because something doesn't exist, you're gonna let that stop you from killing it? I mean, Jesus Christ. You know? That's not what I did with the wank fairies. Anyway, I've been Michael Dodds, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Mr. Michael Dodds. Michael, you managed to depress the microphone stand. He's gone sad. Michael, that was brilliant. Well done, mate. We've got one more act this half. Are we looking forward to it, bus driver? We're approaching the Balrog Hotel. That's near my house, in case you're wondering. Is it looking good? The ducks tasty? Are they cooked? Are they ready?
I think so.
Yeah, you think so? We don't want people eating raw meat. We don't need that on our hands. Mr. Conductor, everyone got their tickets and everything spick and span. Yeah, everything's looking bussy. That's good. That's a good thing for a bus. What else? We need something else on the bus. Which I completely forgot about. A stable for the bus, and that's just a crazy man. A crazy man. Once I got on the bus, not in Lancaster, in Manchester, where I live, and he literally just got on. He was completely deaf. And he just got on and went, oh, like sat next to me, and he was literally for the whole thing looking at me, going, and then he got off before I did, and everyone on the bus gave me a round of applause. I'm not kidding. They were like, how did you do that? Like, how did you put up with that for the whole journey? And I was like, I don't know. Like, what else can you do? Like, what would you do in that situation if a weird man was just barking at you? Anything? Would you just sit there and take it like I did, like the small man I am, or would you bark back? That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I should have done that. Shouldn't I? When he was going, I should go and like see if he did anything. Because that would have been great. So, bus. We're approaching the Balrog Hotel. Everything's clear. We're ready to go on to the next stop. I believe after Balrog it comes Hayler, the community centre and the big grassy bit. Everyone like Hayler. Who lives in Hayler? Yeah, that's good. I know loads of people that live in Hayler. I can't believe there's no one in here. Is it Hayler or Haller? No one cares. It's just whatever you feel like. Do you know what I found out the other day? It's not Haysham, it's Hesham. That's it. That's what I found out. Like, why is it spelled Haysham? And then, why is it Haysham? Why is it not Hay Real? Is it not a real place? I don't know. Are we ready for the next act? Have we remembered the 3 things I taught you? Anyone, what are the 3 things I've taught you about rounds of applause? What? Okay. Who's been here for ages? You guys at the front. Oh, by the way, people stood up at the back. There's space at the front if you want to sit down. I promise I won't pick on you. What?
I said I've got to go in a bit, but...
Oh my god, everyone's coming and going. That's not allowed. We should lock the doors next time. Remember that, lock the doors so no one can leave or enter. You, sit on this side. What am I doing to this? Okay, what was I saying? I can't remember. So we'll just go for the next act. Oh yeah, the 3 things for a round of applause. You guys have been here the whole time. What are they? The 3 things? Well, between you is 3 things.
Clap, stamp and cheer.
Yes, thank you. 1 gold star to that person. Clap, stamp and cheer. I should be a teacher because you see, well, I shouldn't because no one remembered what to do. But I'm glad 1 person has. So clap, stamp and cheer. My next act, he's a very funny man. He's Mr. Dan Wilcock.
Right, we'll just over the mic stage there. Right, nice to be back, County Comedy Club. I don't know if any of you are excited about the Queen's Diamond Jubilee that's happening this weekend. I am. There are 3 types of people when it comes to the royal family. The staunch royalists, the people like me who find the royal family great because they're just so funny. And the people who are complete Republicans who say it's all a waste of money and completely elitist. So I've tried to write a song to keep everyone happy. I wonder what it's like to be the Queen. Only she can eat a swan for tea. Meeting people, shaking lots of hands, and doing photo shoots for all the stamps. For 60 years she's been stuck on the throne. She should get something to ease her flow. The Diamond Jubilee is her reward, but by now Prince Charles must be getting bored. Jubilee, Jubilee, 60 years without a version. British royal family, even though they're really German. There's crowds of people everywhere she goes. There's even a coin named after her nose. She's lived alongside Philip and his gaffs, and watched William growing his bald patch. Over the years the Queen has seen it all. like Harry in his Nazi uniform. She's just as British as a big red bus, but Americans love her more than us. Jubilee, Jubilee, the upper class is kept in their place. It's working class poverty, the system makes Britain great. If I met the Queen, there's one thing I would ask. Can I have a go on Pippa's arse? I don't think that she'd find it that funny, but Philip would give me an OBE. Oh, Berlin, the times wasn't tragic, like that car crash in a tunnel in Paris. So raise a glass to our Queen most dear, even though it costs you 60 million a year. Jubilee, Jubilee, our taxes pay for her celebration. Jubilee, oh, when she's been scrounging off the nation. Jubilee, Jubilee, we hold her with such elation. Jubilee, 60 years of subjectification. Jubilee. The other thing that's taking place in 2012 is, of course, the London Olympics. And again, a lot of people are very sceptical about the Olympic Games. I'm not. I don't agree with them. The sceptics say that as Brits, we're going to mess it all up and it's going to be a complete hash. But I don't think they're right, because in organising the Olympics, we don't have to do anything that historically Britain's been very bad at. At no point in organising the Olympics do we have to take part in a penalty shootout. At no point in organising the Olympics have we had the opportunity to accidentally vote in the Lib Dems. And at no point in organising the Olympics have we put someone in charge of the host city who's actually an old Etonian bubbling with silly hair. Oh shit. Still, I know it's not been too great today, but the nice weather recently has reminded me of my holidays. I've been to quite a lot of foreign countries around in Europe, and I like going there, but the one thing I don't like is seeing other British tourists and their complete disregard for the culture and the language in particular of those countries. I had quite a bad example recently. I was in Spain, I was just walking down the high street in Malaga, and just in front of me there was this British tourist. I could obviously tell he was British because just his beer belly really, and he was clearly looking for something, and he stopped these two Spanish ladies, and he just said to them, "¿Dónde está?" Where is? ¿Dónde está el Tesco's? I thought, for goodness sake, this is ridiculous. I thought, this is taking too long, I'm going to have to go and say something to him. So I went up to him and said, "Listen, Dad, there's no Tesco's in Spain, you want the supermercado." "I don't want Sainsbury's, I want Tesco's." What I like there is you completely believe, listening to my southern accent, that my dad's got a northern one. But anyway, on the subject of the north, I've lived up here for 2 years now. Previous to that, I lived for 15 years in the West Country. So one political decision that was taken as part of the budget recently had quite a bad effect on the residents of these two areas. It made them quite angry in the way that they never have before in this particular sort of taxation method. And in response to their anger, I've written them a bit of a protest song. The politicians endlessly are making us pay more. It seems like us, the normal people, they choose to ignore. But they always want to prove they're down with the kids. So who'd have thought what they just gone and did? It's a step too far when you mess with people's lunch and tea. Shouldn't they know it's not the way to fix our economy? So they can take our freedom, but don't take away our snacks. We'll say no to the pasty tax. So I will protest even if I look like a numpty. Stand outside Parliament in a costume made of pastry. this policy had legs. Have they never seen the queues at lunchtime outside Greg's? So they can go and start another war in Iraq. We'll say no to the pasty tax. Apparently it depends on the way that they're sold. Pay 20% more VAT, unless you want them cold. Why should they care about the way that we eat them? I bet that there wasn't a pasty shop at Eton. You can get us to vote for you with your PR tricks and lies, but you won't stand a chance if you mess with the price of pies. 'Cause we'd rather all be jobless and be living off the dole than pay 20p more for a sausage roll. You can privatise the NHS but lay off the VAT. We'll say no to the pasty tax. They can take away our freedom, but don't take away our snacks. We'll say no to the pasty tax. Say no to the pasty tax! Thank you very much, I'm Dan Wilcock. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Dan Wilcock. Yeah! Woo! Woo! That was good. So, now we're halfway through our incredible journey towards campus. Last week we went to Mars and now we're just going to campus, but it's still just as fun and just as incredible. There's one thing we're going to do, a little game during the break that will let you get involved. And basically I decided recently that my phone is too boring, and so what I want lots of funny texts and stuff. Can we get my number up? That is genuinely my phone number. If you text that number, it can be questions, it can be riddles, it can be poems, it can be, I could be your agony aunt if you want. Aunt? I never said aunt in my life, but I'll be your agony aunt. And anything. Text me anything because my phone's boring. I only get texts from my mum and like Orange, maybe, telling me that there's a free film this week. I also get texts from Carphone Warehouse, he's very nice. So yeah, we'll take about a 10-15 minute break. That'll be fantastic, and then we'll come back and we've got 2 more acts for you. So ladies and gentlemen, get your stuff and text me things. Thank you. Go.